there's like a countdown to when it starts recording and everything. I'm so new to this. Come back in maybe like a few months once I figure this all out because I don't really know what I'm doing. This is I'm trying to record podcasts. That's the goal. I wanted to start a circus podcast for a variety of reasons. Let's see how it works. I hope I can figure out how to publish it. That's not if I record the whole thing and then somehow it's not, that's going to make me mad if I record the whole thing and then I can't publish it. But trial and error, you know? So, we're doing it. It's happening. Uh this is my logo and I can't really figure out how to do this, and I just put a bunch of clips together for this first episode. I'm breaking a lot of rules. There's not really a format here. I'm just going for it. I'm reviewing A Bug's Life for my first episode of my Circus podcast, Sarah's Shy Side. Wow. Let's try that again. For my first podcast episode of Sarah's Sideshow, I'm reviewing A Bug's Life, which is a movie where there's circus bugs. And I actually tried to look up some backstory stuff about it, and they didn't really study the circus too much from what I researched. I saw way more so that they studied bugs instead, which it does make sense. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're just gonna kind of skip around from clips I have. I don't own any of this. Disney did all the movie stuff in Pixar. And just ahead, this isn't going to be like a Disney Pixar trivia thing, but okay, just a little bit of Disney Pixar trivia. I did find out that this is actually the first movie that has the iconic lamp that steps on the eye. So that's pretty cool. And then I did look up a little bit about the backstory of what they were originally going to go with. It's from an Aesop's fable where a grasshopper tries to get ready to prepare for winter. So it's not like how the movie goes at all. The grasshopper hires the ants to prepare for winter. That part's accurate, but in Aesop's fable, it's as like get prepared, and the grasshopper is the good guy for thinking ahead and exploiting labor. So at least we're growing a little bit as humans. That's good, I guess. It's yeah, we're just gonna see. I'm really glad that they at least changed that, and we're growing a little bit as humans, so that's good. Um, and they also decided to rewrite that story because in the Aesop's fable, they were still trying to make the ant the main person, and they were trying to figure out a way that it was like hard for him to leave, which is interesting. Um, and I think that's a lot. I'm going to be reading through my notes here. Sorry if that's bad podcast behavior. I don't know what I am doing. I have no idea. I just started this out of nowhere, so bear with me. Okay, I think if I um let me see. There is an opening scene here that's pretty. This is like the opening scene. And right away, even though it's the ants, they're like climbing up the stalks of grass, right? It reminds me, oh, I went through it very fast. It reminds me of Chinese pole. Like right away, with the way they're climbing, it's very similar to Chinese pole and circus. And then the next clip that when I just rewatching this movie, it reminded me very much of corporate America versus the creative arts, which I can see a lot just everywhere right now. It's, you know, I'm trying not to get down. This is supposed to be a happy outlet for me, but it's hard. So there's this speech that Hopper gives where he is trying to explain to the ants, I'm doing this for your safety. I'm doing it because I care about you. I trust you, and this is the way it has to work. It's just so relatable if you're trying to go into corporate America. It is very frustrating. You can just feel the lies, and they're just trying to exploit off it. But it is interesting how it all comes together to demonstrate that the corporates are all the ants are the ant colony is all corporate and anti-creativity, which is pretty much anti-circus. And they also all look alike, which is also very anti-circus, and they all follow in the line. There's no creative thinking, and you can see because there's no creative thinking, they don't have good coping skills. Like also in the beginning, like a leaf falls and the ant gets like out of line, and then he kind of like has a panic attack. Like coping and good creative skills really go hand in hand, and they showed that right off the bat with the opening scene of the ants, where they're doing the thing and collecting the food and following it in order. And Hopper is like, hey, I'm a good guy for you. I care about you. I care about your hard work that you're doing for me. By benefiting me, you're benefiting yourself. Makes me want to punch him in the face. But the ants, they don't have any creative thinking, and so they're just following it because that's easier for them. And then it comes to where like Flick is the main ant, and he's the only creative thinker in the colony, and he's always messing up because of it, because you can't have creativity without mistakes. You cannot. You gotta have creativity and room for mistakes. It's just how it works. But since Flick is being creative, he's always making mistakes. He doesn't really fit anywhere in the colony, which you can see in this terrible screen recording that I have. But basically the ants are like, no, he doesn't fit in here. He doesn't fit in here. He messed up the ant hospital. He messed up our tunnels. And it's just so relatable, I think, to any circus artist, where we just don't fit in with that. We don't fit in with the corporate world. It doesn't work. We need room for creativity and to make mistakes. Every good circus gym has mats. Because every creative circus artist is going to fall eventually. Hopefully not to the point. I'm not wishing injury on anybody. I'm just saying the facts. And since Flick didn't fit in with the corporate world, he wasn't finding success in the corporate world. By corporate world, I mean ant colony. He goes to look for bigger bugs to fight off the grasshoppers. And the ant colony is so ready to get rid of him. They're like, go, please. Get out of here. And he's taking it super seriously. I just realized in the screen recording I look naked, but I'm in a tank top. I'm in a tank top. Not recording this in the nude. That costs extra. Anyways, so he's out on the town going out, and I just also feel like this is how a lot of people on their creative journey relate. They're not fitting in with the one type colony. They're not fitting in with this one type of people that they have in their small town, which is Ant Island, and he goes off to the big city. That's just like the journey of a lot of creative people. And then we open up to like the intro of the circus bugs, which I love. It's so fun. It's doing a classic ant where there's a big beetle and a small spider, and they're doing like the lion act where they're taming the lion, but it's a big beetle and it messes up and some of the audience leaves. They just really do a way of doing the circus. And then here it says P.T. Flea's Circus. That's obviously Pixar did that because of P.T. Barnum, the original circus. P.T. Barnum, P.T. Flea's Flea Circus. I mean, Pixar is really great about hiding the Easter eggs and things like that. They did a really great job with that. I love how the introduction of the ants was all organized and they were in order and they all look the same. But the introduction of the circus is totally the opposite. The show is going terrible. It's going so bad. Nobody likes what they're doing. The stick bug is like, I don't want to be a stick, which I also think is relatable. You just have to get whatever work you can get, booked however You can get booked. And he's like, please, please, I'm not meant to be a clown. I'm a serious actor. I'm a serious performer. But it's just you got to get out there and you got to do it. And it's just it kind of introduces them with the stick bug, the ladybug. There's a praying mantis who's the magician married to the moth, his assistant. I also love how Manny, the mantis, the male mantis, who's the magician, is like, I want to live. I want to live. So he married a moth because, if he married a female praying mantis, he would be dead. Just another thing I think was so smart. I'm sure Pixar didn't do this on purpose, but the amount of autistic girls I know in the circus is very high, or just neurodivergence is very high in the circus community, and we all love bugs. So, like, bugs are just really interesting, the culture of bugs. They really hit their audience on the target with this. You like my fidget toy while I'm doing this? That's really the camera that I couldn't figure out. I'm playing with the little lid to my camera. But to save the show, to save their chaotic show, they try to do this crazy act where they're all doing their talents together, and it's death defying, flaming death, and of course all blindfolded. Any trick you want to level up in circus, we all know you just do it blindfolded. Put a blindfold on. It makes it way cooler. And they're getting ready to set up for it. It all looks organized. Then, of course, it just doesn't go well. It does not go well at all. One timing part gets off, and then it's just a domino effect, which I feel like if you're ever trying to do a team act, it's very much like that. You all have to be in perfect communication and know the music well. Music is a great tool to get an act cohesive. But of course it doesn't work out like that. And just as I'm watching the flaming